Hello, peeps. How's everybody doing right now? I hope you're doing great. It's been a while since I've last uploaded on this channel, and this time I have reasons. Okay, good reason. On 7th of May, I was tested positive for COVID. Not only me, but like 7 other members throughout the span of like 3 days got tested for COVID. First, me and my mom, my dad, my older sister all tested positive for COVID at like 7th May. On 8th May, two of my younger siblings came up, and then on 10th May, 9th May, my grandmother so came positive. So we all were quarantined at the second floor of my house. Meanwhile, those who were negative were sitting in the floor, and that included my uncle, my and his wife, basically my aunt, cousins, and my granddad. So they were all sitting downstairs, and we were sitting upstairs. Now, it was fine, My dad was asymptomatic. The only one who was really serious at that point was my sister. My dad was fine. My younger siblings, they were also asymptomatic. I had a slight fever and everything like that, but it calmed down towards like the around 8 or 9 p.m. on 8th May. So yeah, we were doing fine, but on 8th May at like 10 p.m. my dad, he started feeling not well. He had a fever and everything like that. So my dad was staying with me in the upper guest room. My sister was in her room. My grandmother took my uncle's bedroom and she was staying there. My mom, with my two younger siblings, they were staying in my parents' room. And then when my dad wasn't feeling well, my mom swapped places with my dad, so she came over to the guest room and he went over to our parents' bedroom. And we were just on like 9th May, he was doing fine, nothing happened to him, but he did the grave mistake of deciding to inject a antibiotic into him. He's a doctor, by the way, so yeah, he knows what he's doing. So he injected himself with an antibiotic which he was allergic to, but he didn't know that. So when he injected it, allergic reactions kicked up, and he stayed up till 5 a.m. puking. I stayed up with my mom to like 1 a.m. helping her out, but yeah, I don't know if it's because of that her symptoms worsened, but for the next 3 days, I was by myself, taking care of my mom, my sister, my dad, and my grandmother. For 2 days straight, I couldn't properly rest. My back hurt like hell, and I couldn't completely rely on my younger siblings to help me because they're just too young. So I had to do majority of the tasks by myself, like 99% of the tasks by myself. At least I didn't have to cook, which was a plus. The good thing plus that slight bit of help that I received was around the 13th May, because my dad was feeling better that time. So he basically then that point he treated my mom and my sister slightly. He got my mom to like better condition. She felt slightly better than what she did in the past 3 days, and my sister, she could just get up and eat and stuff. So it was way better because she wasn't eating like for the entire time. She didn't eat because everything that she ate, she would just immediately puke it. Even medicine at that point, we couldn't. No one knew what to do with her. So yeah, around 13th May, he kind of like helped in that sense. He like treated my mom and my sister, and then like it just took a turn again, and he developed a fever. His head hurt. Basically, all the symptoms came back, and he was bedridden. And then on 14th May, again things took a turn for the worse. His saturation had dipped down to 70, so they rushed him over to the hospital. And yeah, they rushed him over to the hospital, and he's been there ever since. It's been like 3 weeks since he's been there, almost 3 weeks since he's been there. So they rushed him over there, and he was doing fine. He was in the wards. His saturation came back up, but probably because he was in the wars, he wasn't really given much attention to, and his condition worsened to the point that they had to shift him over to the ICU, which I think they did at like 17th or 18th May. And yeah, he'd been there, and then after that, on I think it was like 20th, 19th or 20th May, they had to shift my grandmother there because her saturation, the O2 concentrator that she was hooked up to, had a leak in it, because of which her like lungs probably degraded. We didn't know since when there was a leak, but she wasn't basically getting proper oxygen supply. Now, because of that, her saturation had dipped down to like 70s, in the lower 70s, and then we started put her like in prone position, started patting her, kept her stable until the ambulance arrived. And when the ambulance arrived, she had to walk all the way to the ambulance because ambulances in Kashmir don't have stretchers. Yeah, so she had to walk all the way from her second story, like the room that she was staying in, which was on the second floor, all the way down to the ambulance, which was waiting outside the door for her. And when she did that, it had dropped all the way down to 65, which is like dangerously low, you know. So, so she, that's why she was like rushed to the hospital. And I had visited them on two occasions, on the 23rd and on 23rd, the 22nd, and yeah, the 23rd, and then she was discharged on 24th. So yeah, she was, I think, a total of 5 days there, from 20th till 24th. And she's doing well since. She doesn't require oxygen anymore. She tested negative, and she's doing everything fine. You know, her saturation stays above 95. So yeah, she's doing great. My dad, on the other hand, he had some very close calls with like death, you could say. Because his saturation was almost to 60 twice. Like on two occasions, it had dropped down to like near 60. And basically, the doctors were saying that if it drops down to like below like 60 or below, they were gonna put him in induced coma, and then uh, put him under the ventilators, the one with the pipes in. And so far on this entire stay, from like 14th of May all the way up to 26th or like 27th when that news arrived, no one who has been induced with who's been in the state of induced coma has survived. So my family were understandably under pressure with this. But thankfully, he's on a recovering curve right now. As of now, he's been, for like past 2 days, he's been stable 92, which is like an extremely good thing. But because of the ventilating masks that was on him for the past like 3 days, his face is swollen up a bit. The swelling has gone down considerably. Like his right eye's almost returned to normal state, but his left side of face is still swollen. So yeah, but he can talk normally right now. His saturation has actually increased like drastically. He had gone up to like 97 at sometimes. So yeah, it's good. Probably for like I don't know. The doctors say that he will probably stay till 2 months. His recovery might be faster than that, depending on the situation, but the maximum it can go to is 2 months. And yeah, so we're just hoping for the best at this point. So yeah, right now I have time. It's the things have calmed down, so that's why I decided to sit down and record this video. But yeah, that's all. Thank you. I don't know what else to say, honestly. That's what I've been doing all of this time. At times there were which that really tired me out. Like for example, when I had to go to the hospital on like 3 occasions, and all of those occasions I had stayed up more than 6 hours in. On the first time that I visited on 22nd, I stayed there for 7 hours. On 23rd, I stayed there for 10 hours. And then I think on 27th or 28th, maybe, I had stayed there for like 12 hours. So by the time I came home, I was really tired and I slept like 11. Oh, but anyways, yeah, that's all I have to say. I don't know. I will update. I will like 2 or 3 weeks later. I don't know when I feel like it. But anyways, that's all I have to say right now. I will try to get back to making videos. See how everything goes. I've thought of changing my style as well. To making less effort content as of right now because I'm not really getting much out of it. And I don't really have that much time, so making. Anyways, it's a topic for another